Hello friends, so today we will have the discussion for test 3 on Indian polity on NCERT. Okay, so without wasting time, we are moving to the first question. The first question on the screen. Consider the following statements regarding the Council of States in the Indian Parliament. So what do you mean by Council of States? Or which house is known as the Council of States, be it Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha? It is Rajya Sabha. We are speaking about Rajya Sabha. Okay, so here we need to consider these statements in relation to the Council of States, that is Rajya Sabha. Very good. So first statement says it is a directly elected body. Sir, Council of States, is it directly elected body? No. In fact, it is not directly elected body. It is indirectly elected body. So Rajya Sabha is indirectly elected body. It is not directly elected. What is the method of election to Rajya Sabha? You just try to understand this. To Rajya Sabha, the electoral college constitutes or consists of the elected MLAs. So they are the ones who actually votes to the members of Rajya Sabha, isn't it? So the people do not cast the vote directly. So that is the reason why we say that the Rajya Sabha elections are indirect election. The first statement from the initial reading itself, the first glimpse of the statement itself indicates that it is wrong. The statement is wrong. Symmetrical representation is followed. Where? Council of States. Do you have symmetrical representation? Sir, what do you mean by symmetrical representation? Symmetrical representation means you give representation to all the states equally, isn't it? Do you have all the states or all the states in the country, does it have equal representation in Rajya Sabha? No, it is on the basis of population. So in India, we have a symmetrical representation, isn't it? And what is said is that symmetrical representation is followed as compared to the US, where each state has representatives according to the population of the states. Sir, in US, in fact, they have symmetrical representation. In India, it is asymmetrical representation. So this statement is wrong. In US, in Senate, there are 50 states in United States of America. In Senate, you have total 100 members. That is 50 states will provide 2 members each and will contribute to the total 100 strength of the Senate. That is not the case within the Rajya Sabha of India, because the state of Kerala has 9 members, the state of UP has 31, Assam has 12. Now what is this? This is asymmetrical representation. On the basis of what? On the basis of population. Very good. Rajya Sabha has only elected members as compared to the state legislatures, which have both nominated and elected members. Sir, Rajya Sabha has only elected members. No, the statement is wrong, my dear friends. Just take the example of the music director Ilayaraja, P.T. Usha, isn't it? Sachin Tendulkar was also a member of Rajya Sabha. They were actually nominated members, not elected members. So Rajya Sabha has only elected members. No, sir, wrong. So what is the answer? How many of the statements given above are correct? None of the statements are correct. That's it. The second question for you. Consider the following statements regarding stronger central government in Indian Federation. Okay, stronger central government in Indian federalism. The first statement says the very existence of a state, including its territorial integrity, is in the hands of parliament. Of course, so the states in India, the geographical states, the state of Kerala, the state of Tamil Nadu, does we have territorial integrity? No. Who will redraw the political map of India? That is actually the power of the Parliament of India. So the very existence of state, including its territorial integrity, is in the hands of Parliament. Fine, the statement is correct statement, isn't it? The political map of India will be drawn by the Parliament. If the Parliament feels that the state of Kerala needs to be renamed, the state of Kerala needs to be bifurcated, the state of Tamil Nadu needs to be joined with the state of Kerala, of course they can do that. That is the decision of the Parliament. The states does not have the territorial integrity as per the Indian federalism. Okay. The governor has certain powers to recommend the dismissal of the state government and the dissolution of the assembly. Yes, as the governor is the constitutional head of the state, isn't it? The state government, or the governor is the constitutional head of the state government, and the governor has certain powers, right? The constitution clearly states that the executive powers of the center are superior to the executive powers of the state. Wonderful. There is absolutely no doubt, my dear friends. The executive powers of the center are superior to the executive powers of the state. What is so special about Indian Federation is that Indian Federation has a unitary tilt, isn't it? We are not a classic federation. We have a unitary tilt. So we have federal features as well as unitary features. That is the reason why Mr. K.C. Ware has defined Indian federalism as quasi-federalism, isn't it? So we have federal features, unitary features. One of the unitary features is that the central government is superior than the state government. So the third statement says the constitution clearly states that the executive powers of the center are superior to the executive powers of the state. Very good. How many of the statements given above are correct? Answer is all three statements are correct. Fine, clear. So the next question number 3. Consider the following statements. Okay, consider the following statements. So question number 3 is actually a kind of assertion reasoning type statement or question. The constitution stopped short of giving certain powers to the Rajya Sabha, isn't it? Very good. It says that the constitution does not give much power to Rajya Sabha. This is what is provided here, isn't it? Fine, because Rajya Sabha is secondary chamber in certain matters, like say for example the enactment of money bills. In those matters, Rajya Sabha is considered only as a secondary chamber. In a democratic form as adopted by, so the first statement is correct, in a democratic form as adopted by our constitution, the people, they are the final authority, isn't it? Absolutely. That is the reason why Lok Sabha is given predominantly higher power, isn't it? So both of the statements are correct. And in fact, the second statement is the explanation of the first statement. The first statement says Rajya Sabha is secondary. And why Rajya Sabha is secondary is because Lok Sabha is the house of people in democratic form of government. The people has the superior power, isn't it? So the answer for this question should be both statement 1 or 2 are correct, and statement 2 is the correct explanation of statement 1. Yeah, this is what is the right answer. Fine. Question number 4. Yeah. So question number 4, consider the following statements regarding parliamentary privileges. Okay, parliamentary privileges. What do you mean by parliamentary privileges? Sir, as the member of parliament, there are certain privileges for the members as well as the parliament as an institution, isn't it? Say, for example, the members of the parliament, they are not supposed to be provided with distorted facts, wrong facts. This is one of their privilege because they actually represents the people of the country. So the first statement says no legal action can be taken against a member for whatever the member may have said in the legislature. Very good. Yes, this is one of the parliamentary privilege of a member. No legal action. Why? Because they should be able to speak without fear, without any kind of bias. They should be able to speak in the parliament for the people, isn't it? The presiding officer of the legislature has the final powers in deciding matters of breach of privilege. Absolutely, my dear friends. In most of the cases, inside the proceedings of the parliament, the ultimate authority is the presiding officer. Okay, in 99% of the matters, or in 99% of the matters in relation to the rules of procedure of parliament, the authority lies with the presiding officer. Very good. So parliamentary privilege, or if there is a breach of privilege, if somebody is providing a distorted fact in the parliament, what kind of action needs to be taken, that will be decided by the presiding officer. The main purpose of such privilege is to enable the members of the legislature to represent the people and exercise effective control over the executive. What is the thumb rule of parliamentary form of government? The parliamentary form of government's thumb rule is executive is responsible to the legislature, isn't it? Executive is responsible to the legislature, which means the legislature can question the executive and the legislature should question the executive. This is what is the idea of parliamentary form of government. This is the bedrock principle of parliamentary form of government. So statement number 3 is also correct statement. So what is the answer for this question? Answer for this question is, how many statements given above are correct? All 3 statements are correct. Next question, question number 5. Consider the following statements. Number 1, the Constitution of India does not mention the word federation. Very good. With respect to federalism, while recognizing diversity, Indian Constitution has emphasized unity. So the problem in relation to when we talk about the UPSC exam pattern, the UPSC has a pattern of analyzing or examining that whether you have seen the Constitution of India, whether you have read at least important articles of the Constitution of India. The first article of the Indian Constitution itself says, India, that is Bharat, okay, India, that is Bharat, shall be Federation of States? No, Union of States. Okay, Union of States. Very good. Sir, so the federation, the word is not used in the Constitution. No, sir. In fact, in the entire Constitution of India, the term federation is not used. This is a fact which needs to be mugged up. Statement number 1 is correct. The Constitution of India does not mention the word federation. With respect to federalism, while recognizing diversity, the Indian Constitution has emphasized unity. Of course, when you talk about the Federation of India, there are certain different states on the basis of, say, for example, on the basis of linguistic grounds, the states are differentiated. But at the same time, when we talk about our federal polity, there is actually a system of cooperation among the states, isn't it? We have the interstate council to promote a cordial relationship among the center and the state. Why this interstate council? Sir, we need to have the states to go forward with a very cordial, friendly relationship. So this is the second statement. So second statement is also correct. So the answer for question number 5 is, you are supposed to choose the correct statement. The answer for question number 5 is option C. Okay, very good. The next question, question number 6. Consider the following statements. The Constitution clearly demarcates subjects which are under the exclusive domain of Union and those under the states. So, does the Constitution clearly demarcates? Yes, in Schedule 7 of the Indian Constitution. Okay, in Schedule 7 of the Indian Constitution, you have Union list, state list, and concurrent list. Union list exclusively for the center, state list usually exclusively for the center. So there is a clear separation of legislative subject, isn't it? Legislative subject. The Union legislature, so the first statement is correct. The Union legislature alone has the power to legislate on subjects such as defense, foreign affairs, education. Very good, sir. So the second statement is also right. No, in fact, the second statement is wrong. When you see the statement, defense, foreign affairs, exclusively under the authority of union list or union government. But what about education? Sir, education is part of the concurrent list. Education is part of the concurrent list on which both the union as well as the state can frame laws, and in case if there is a conflict between union and state, the law made by the union will prevail over. So what is the answer for this question? You are supposed to choose the correct statement. So which of the following statement or which of the above statement is or are correct? Wow, statement number 1 only is correct. Fine. So that's it regarding question number 6. Question number 7. How many of the following can be considered as a feature of Indian Federation? Feature of Indian Federation. Sir, different tiers of government govern the same citizens. You have the central government at the top level, you have the state government, and you have even the local self bodies through the 73rd Constitutional Amendment Act for the same citizens. Yes, sir, for the same citizens. Do we have different citizenship? No, you have only single citizenship. So, different tiers of government govern the same citizens. Very good. Bifurcation of judiciary between federal and state governments. This can actually be a confusion. Sir, does the judiciary gets bifurcated in India? Do we have a separate judicial system for different states? No, my dear friends, you may be getting trapped in such kind of statements because you will have a feeling that yes, of course, different high courts are there. But what you have is an integrated judiciary, isn't it? A single system of judiciary, interconnected judiciary. You have the subordinate courts. Okay, the subordinate courts, you have on the top of it, you have the High Court for the states, and at the apex level, you have the Supreme Court of India. This single system of court is known as integrated judiciary. Okay, and all these courts have a single document as the fundamental law of the land, that is the Constitution of India. This is what is the wonderful feature of Indian judiciary, integrated judiciary we have. So this statement is wrong. Courts have the power to interpret the Constitution. Yes, sir, in India, the courts have the power to interpret the Constitution. So this statement is also correct. So the question is federal feature or the feature of Indian Federation. Question number one, sorry, statement number 1 and 3 are correct. So the answer for this question will be yes, option B, only 2. Okay. The next question for you on the screen at my snap. Consider or which of the following commissions associated with center-state relationship in India? There is nothing to think more. The answer is Sarkaria Commission, isn't it? You know Mahalanobis Commission, isn't it? PC Mahalanobis, isn't it? The father of Indian statistics. So he is something which we can think about. If you know regarding the basics of economics, you would easily connect him with economics. Fazl Ali Commission, the state reorganization, isn't it? Very good. Now, Kothari Commission, in fact, is an education commission. Okay, Kothari Commission is in fact an education commission. So the center-state relation, in fact, is in connection with Sarkaria Commission. So this is what is 8th question speaking about. 9th question says, with regard to center-state relations, again, consider the following statement. In case of any dispute about the division of powers between the center and states, only the Supreme Court can make a decision. Sir, the Supreme Court of India is also known as the Federal Court. Why? The Federal Court means this court has a power to resolve the dispute among different states. Okay, to resolve the disputes among different states. So there is state A, state B, state C. Regarding the power of the states, this federal court has the power to resolve this dispute. At the same time, if there is a dispute between the center and the state, that will also be settled by this federal court. So the Supreme Court in India is also a federal court. Very good. So the first statement is right statement. According to Article 356, the central government has the authority to indefinitely assume control of a state government. Sir, indefinite control of state government is not possible because that will in a way sabotage the federal nature of Indian polity. So according to Article 356, the central government can go for 3 years control over the state. Fine. Beyond that, no sir. Beyond that, usually in ordinary cases, it is not possible. Fine. So in detail, we will talk about when we discuss about the emergency provisions of the Constitution. We will talk about what are the technicalities of this particular article, that is article number 356. In relation to this particular question, what you need to understand is that there is no scope for indefinite control over the state government by the central government using article number 356. Maximum of 3 years. That is possible. Which of the above statements are incorrect? This is wrong. So incorrect means yes, option B. That is 2 only. Fine. Question number 10. Consider the following pairs. Number 1, union list, banking, state list, police, concurrent list, marriages. See, union list includes those subjects which have national importance. Say, for example, the foreign affairs, currency, banking. These things comes under defense. These things comes under the category of union list. In other words, what you need to understand is that there needs to be a unified same law for the entire country. So banking is like that, very very important subject, isn't it, regarding the money. So banking comes under the union list. Police, the Kerala police, Tamil Nadu police, fine, state list. Concurrent list, marriages. Yes, both the center as well as the state can frame laws on the subjects of concurrent list. So marriage is part of the concurrent list. Okay, education is part of the concurrent list. So all these 3 pairs are correctly matched. So the answer for this question is option C. So question number 10 will have option C as the answer. Okay. Yes. Fine. Question number 11. The Constitution has given the states the option of establishing either a unicameral or bicameral legislature. Consider the following states. Very good. So state number 1 is Bihar, 2 Karnataka, 3 Uttar Pradesh, 4 Gujarat, Madhya Pradesh. We are going to expect the question. The question would be, which of the following states is going to have a bicameral legislature? That is the question. So there is actually a choice. Okay. So in case of parliament, according to article number 79, okay, according to article number 79, there is no option at all. So the parliament will have to be bicameral. That is, there should be a council of states as well as the house of people. Fine, as well as the house of people. Very good. Now, when it comes to the state legislature, there is an option. The option is that the state legislature may be unicameral. So, if the state legislature is established as a unicameral legislature, it will be having a state legislative assembly. The state legislature can also be bicameral. If it is bicamerally constituted, it will have a legislative assembly as well as legislative council. So, there is an option. So, here the question is, how many of the above states have a bicameral legislature? Sir, there are 6 states in India which have a bicameral legislature. Number 1, UP. Number 2, Maharashtra. Number 3, Bihar. 4, Karnataka. 5, Telangana. And 6th one is Andhra Pradesh. Okay, it's not Arunachal Pradesh, it's Andhra Pradesh. Now, how many? Bihar, UP, Karnataka, Gujarat? No. Madhya Pradesh? No. So, answer for this question is only 3. That is option B. Okay. So, 11th question has the answer as option B. Next one. Question number 12. With regard to the Rajya Sabha, consider the following statements. Again, Rajya Sabha gets importance here. States with larger population receive more representatives than states with smaller population in the allocation process. Sir, in the first question discussion, we have clearly indicated that in Rajya Sabha, the seat allocation is on the basis of population. Higher the population of particular state, higher will be the number of seats allocated. So, first statement is right. State with larger population receive more representatives than the state with smaller population in the allocation process, despite being a fully elected body. Oh my goodness. Wrong. Okay. The members do not conclude their terms simultaneously. Is it a fully elected body? Rajya Sabha? No, sir. In fact, you have nominated members also in Rajya Sabha. So, second statement is wrong. What is the answer? You are supposed to choose the incorrect statement. Answer is option B, that is 2 only. Okay, fine. Question number 13. Consider the following statements. The Lok Sabha can be dissolved if neither a single political party nor a coalition secures the ability to form a government. So we are speaking about the dissolution of Lok Sabha. Sir, when can the Lok Sabha be dissolved? Sir, Lok Sabha can be dissolved once. That is, after 5 years, the Lok Sabha gets automatically dissolved. Okay. Now, second condition is that suppose if there is no party which has a majority. If no party which has a majority, then what can you do? Sir, the president can go for the single largest party or the single largest coalition, isn't it? If that is also not possible, then what can we do? Of course, we will go for the dissolution of Lok Sabha. So the Lok Sabha can be dissolved if neither a single political party or a coalition secures the ability to form a government. If nobody is able to form a government in Lok Sabha, then what can we do? We will have to dissolve Lok Sabha. The president will be dissolving Lok Sabha. The dissolution of Lok Sabha is contingent upon the Prime Minister advising the president to initiate such a course of action. Yes, in fact, the Prime Minister Modi feels that it is the appropriate time to conduct the next election, next general election. If he enjoys majority support in Lok Sabha, the Prime Minister may think that if the political situations are favorable, he will ask the President of India, President of India, I am ready to face the election, face the people now. The president will say, Mr. Prime Minister, you have one more year ahead. No problem. I am ready to face the election here because of his confidence that he is going to get 5 years, next 5 years, if the elections are conducted at this particular juncture. So yes, this statement is also correct. So if the Prime Minister advises the President of India, you dissolve the Lok Sabha, and if the president is satisfied that the Prime Minister has got the majority support in Lok Sabha, very good. The president will be of no other option to dissolve other than dissolving Lok Sabha. So option number 1 as well as option number 2, right statement. So the answer for this question, both 1 and 2, because you are asked about the correct statement. So option number, question number 13 will have option number C as the right answer. Question number 14. Consider the following statements. Number 1, removal of judges of High Court. Okay, removal of judges of High Court, enacting changes in the constitution, raising resources through taxation, election of chairman of Rajya Sabha. In how many of the aforementioned scenarios do both houses of parliament wield equivalent authority? Which means the question is that where does the Lok Sabha as well as Rajya Sabha will be having equal powers? First one, removal of judges of High Court. So the judges of High Court shall be removed by the President of India, okay, shall be removed by the President of India on recommendation of the Parliament. This is what is provided in the Constitution. Parliament means Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. So Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha has equivalent powers in relation to the removal of the judges of High Court. Enacting changes in the constitution means we are speaking about constitutional amendment. Both Lok Sabha as well as Rajya Sabha will be having, according to article number 368, a special majority in both Lok Sabha as well as Rajya Sabha. So this is also right statement. Raising resources through taxation. My goodness, no. In fact, the financial matters. Regarding the financial matters, you need to understand that Lok Sabha is always superior than Rajya Sabha. Okay, so this is wrong. Here, the Lok Sabha has more powers. Election of chairman of Rajya Sabha. Yes, sir, all the members of the parliament will be constituting to the electoral college for the election of chairman of Rajya Sabha. So all the members of the parliament means be it the members of Rajya Sabha, be it the members of Lok Sabha, does not matter, all have equivalent power, which means Rajya Sabha as well as Lok Sabha has equal authority regarding the election of chairman of Rajya Sabha. Okay, so all these, in fact, no, only 3 statements says that Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha have equivalent power. Question number 15. With regard to defection, consider the following statements. What do you mean by defection? Defection is, say for example, you getting elected under one party symbol, and once you are getting elected, you shift the party. You voluntarily give away the membership of the party. You are voting against the party in which you are elected. All these things can come under the category of defection. So failure to attend the house upon the party leadership's directive can be constituted as an act of defection. Yes, my dear friends, the party will issue some whip. Whip means instructions, advices, isn't it? You would have heard about chief whip, isn't it? So the party will give you some instructions and you are supposed to obey these instructions. Why? Because you are elected in that party symbol, isn't it? So not in relation to the independent candidates or independent members, we are speaking about the party members. Now, can you say that no, I will not be present in the house even if I have got an instruction from the whip that you need to be compulsorily present in the house? No, sir, you have to be present. Otherwise, that will be constituted as an act of defection. First statement is correct. Statement number 2 says the president is the authority who makes final decisions in all such cases. This is something which takes place inside the parliament. So if a procedure is taking place inside the parliament, who will be the authority to decide? As I have already told you, it will be the presiding officer, not the president of India. It will be the presiding officer. Fine. So statement number 1 is correct and statement number 2 is wrong. What is the answer for this statement? You need to choose the correct one. So the answer for this question is option A, that is 1 only. So 15, question number 15 says it is option A, that is 1 only. Okay, fine. Yes. So question number 16 now. Question number 16, consider the following statements. The number of members to be elected to Rajya Sabha from each state has been fixed by the 4th schedule of the Constitution. Sir, under article number 80, it is clearly mentioned that if you need to understand about the allocation of seats, about the number of seats allocated, okay, please refer schedule 4 of the Indian Constitution regarding the allocation of seats in Rajya Sabha. Okay, so it is fixed by schedule number 4 on the basis of population. Statement number 1 is correct. The elected members of the state legislative assembly elect the members of Rajya Sabha. Okay, the elected members of the state legislative assembly elect the members of Rajya Sabha. Yes, in fact, this is also correct statement. Okay, in fact, this is also correct statement. So for the option or for this particular question, answer is option C, both 1 and 2. Okay, both 1 and 2 is the right answer. Fine. So you are supposed to choose the correct statement. Yes, both 1 and 2 are correct statement. Very good. Question number 17. Consider the following statements. Statement number 1 says that the members of Lok Sabha are elected on the basis of plurality system. What do you mean by plurality system? Plurality system means, say for example, I'll just give you an example. Okay, try to understand this. Suppose this is a Lok Sabha constituency. Okay, this is a Lok Sabha constituency and you have 3 party candidates. Okay, that is 3 candidates representing different party. This candidate A, candidate B and candidate C. Candidate A gets 35% of votes. Candidate B gets 33% of votes. Candidate C gets 32% of votes. Now, who will be the winner in this election? Candidate A will be the winner in this election. Why? Because 35% of votes has got fetched by candidate A. Sir, there is no 50% of votes, isn't it? Which means you just understand that candidate A is winner, but if you count the total votes who have voted against candidate A, that is 32 plus 33, 65%. 65% of the members say that A is not our option. 35% of the members say that A is our option, but 65% of the members say A is not our option. This system is known as FPTP, first past the post system, isn't it? So first past the post system does not look for the majority, it look for the plurality of vote. Okay, if it would have been checking the majority, then the candidate winning should get more than 50% of the total votes polled. So that system is known as proportional representation system, which we follow in the presidential as well as the vice presidential election, the Rajya Sabha election, the election to the state legislative council. Here in Lok Sabha, what we follow is plurality system, that is FPTP system. Okay, FPTP system, the first past the post system. So we have understood about what is plurality, isn't it? Plurality system. Now the value of the vote of every individual would be equal to another in case of election to Lok Sabha. Sir, this statement is also correct statement. But is it the explanation of statement number 1? No, explanation we have already said. This is not the correct explanation of statement number 1. So what is the answer? Both statement 1 and 2 are correct, and statement 2 is not the correct explanation for statement 1. Okay, so for this, answer is option B. That is question number 17 has answer B as the right option. Fine. The next question. Consider the following statements. The union legislature alone has the power to legislate on residuary subjects. What do you mean by residuary subjects? Sir, there is union list, state list, concurrent list, and there are other subjects which does not come under union list, state list and concurrent list. Those subjects, like say for example cyber law, which does not come under the union list, state list and concurrent list, those subjects are known as the residuary subjects. So those subjects will be like the union list, which means those subjects would be treated like the union list. That means the center will have the legislative power in relation to the residuary subjects. So the union legislature alone has the power to legislate residuary subjects. Correct statement. Atomic energy is a residuary subject. No, sir. In fact, atomic energy is not a residuary subject. It is a union list subject. Okay. So which one is right statement? Yeah, the union legislature alone has the power to legislate on residuary subject. Right statement. This is wrong statement. So the answer for this question is option A. That is 1 only. Question number 18 has option A. That is 1 only. Next question. Question number 19. Consider the following statements regarding the parliamentary committees. There are different committees in the parliament to reduce the power of the members of the parliament, or to ease the power or ease the function, ease the business of the members of the parliament, which means the parliament has a heavy load, isn't it? The members of the parliament as an institution have a heavy load. Now, to reduce the load of the parliament, there are number of parliamentary committees. Ad hoc committees are there, standing committees are there. So there are different parliamentary committees. Now, what is the role of parliamentary committee? Statement number 1 says the committee system has increased the burden on the parliament. Not at all. The committee system is reducing the burden of the parliament. No bill can become law and no budget will be sanctioned unless approved by the parliamentary committee. No, sir. No bill can in fact become a law or no budget can be passed without the approval by the parliament, not the parliamentary committees. Parliamentary committees recommendation or parliamentary committees approval is not a mandatory concern. The respective parliamentary committees are the final authority in matters of regulating the business of the legislature. No, regarding regulation of the business, the authority is the presiding officer. As I have already told you, inside the parliament, the business is regulated by the presiding officer. So what is the right, or which all among these are the right one? In fact, this is wrong, and in fact, even this is also wrong, isn't it? So Right statement, none. Yeah, 19 will have option D as the right answer. Question number 20. Consider the following statements regarding the state legislative assembly. It is the lower house of the state legislature in a bicameral system. Very good. So the state legislature consists of state legislative assembly, state legislative council. State legislative assembly, suppose, is known as the lower house, the house of people, isn't it, at the state level. State legislative council is known as the upper house or the upper chamber, isn't it? Upper chamber, and it is known as the council. Okay, the state legislative council. Fine. So this is lower house, this is upper house. Okay. So first option says it is the lower house of the state legislature in a bicameral system. Second option says all states must have not less than 60 and more than 500 members. Usually this is right, but the problem is that there are certain exceptions for the states, smaller states like Goa, Mizoram. In fact, they do not have 60 members because they are very small states, small states. So this particular statement, because of all states, wrong. It can only be dissolved by the governor at the request of chief minister. What is we are speaking about? We are speaking about the state legislative assembly, isn't it? State legislative assembly can only be dissolved by the governor at the request of the chief minister. No, you can in fact dissolve the state legislative assembly during the president's rule. It is not exclusively by the advice of the chief minister. It can be dissolved during the time of the president's rule also. So the answer for this question, these two statements are wrong. The right statement is option A, that is one only. So question number 20 will have option A as the right answer. Fine. Question number 21. The provision of joint sitting is applicable for which of the following bills? What do you mean by joint sitting? Sir, joint sitting is mentioned in article number 108 of the Indian Constitution, isn't it? Now, in case of ordinary bills as well as financial bills, you have the provision of joint sitting. What do you mean by joint sitting? See, joint sitting means whenever there is a legislative deadlock between the first house and the second house, be it Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha, does not matter, between the first house and second house. This is the reason why I say it is first and second house. I did not say it is primary house, or I did not say it is house of people and council of states, because in financial bills as well as in ordinary bills, the power for both the houses are equal in the enactment of the bill. So we are just saying is first house and second house. Fine. Now we just consider the bill is introduced in Lok Sabha. Lok Sabha is enacting a bill. Rajya Sabha is against this bill. Rajya Sabha does not give assent to this bill. There is a deadlock. Condition number 1. Condition number 2 is that Lok Sabha is passing a bill. Rajya Sabha is in fact amending the bill. Okay, Rajya Sabha is in fact cutting some provisions, and Rajya Sabha is passing the bill to the Lok Sabha and saying that Lok Sabha, now you consider this bill. We have suggestions, we have some amendments in this bill, and we have sent you back this bill. Lok Sabha says, no, we are not ready to give this amendment, or we are not ready to accept this amendment. So there is a deadlock. Condition number 3 is that Lok Sabha passes a bill. Rajya Sabha sits on this bill for more than 6 months. That will also be a deadlock. On these 3 conditions, if the bills are ordinary or the financial bills, the President of India can issue a notification for joint sitting. It is not compulsory, but the President of India may issue a notification for joint sitting. What is joint sitting? Lok Sabha plus Rajya Sabha come together, sit together, talk and vote. But this is highly political in nature. Why? Because Lok Sabha has 543 members, Rajya Sabha has 245 members. Whose opinion will be predominant if there is a voting? It's big trick, big game, isn't it? Lok Sabha's decision will be predominant. Fine. So in case of financial bills, you have in the given option the provision for joint sitting. How many of the above statements or the statements given above are correct? In fact, this is not statement, it is just in fact options. Okay, only one. So the answer for question number 21 is option A. Question number 22. Consider the following statements regarding article number 356. Okay, 356. The provision is to be applied when a situation has arisen in which the government of the state cannot be carried on in accordance with the provisions of the constitution. See, 356 is popularly also known as state emergency, isn't it? State emergency. Why state emergency? Whenever the state government fail to follow the Constitution of India, or if there is a breakdown of the Constitution in one particular state, there can be imposition of President's rule. So in that regard, article number 356 is also known as state emergency. Also known as, I did not say that it is provided in the Constitution as state emergency, because 356 does not use the term emergency. Very, very important. Article 352 is national emergency. Article 360 is financial emergency. But Article 356 is President's rule, because in Article number 356, the term emergency is not used. So then why do we say that it's state emergency? Because it is something which is in relation to the state, isn't it? Why do we say that it is constitutional emergency? It is due to the failure of the constitution why article number 356 is proclaimed, isn't it? So constitutionally the right, technically the right term is President's rule. Fine. So first statement is correct. This provision is to be applied when a situation has arisen in which the government of the state cannot be carried on in accordance with the provisions of the constitution. Right statement. Statement number 2. The President's proclamation under Article 356 does not require ratification by Parliament. Sir, ratification by Parliament is compulsory. This is something which you cannot bypass. Ratification of Parliament is compulsory. Statement number 2 is wrong. The governor has the power to recommend the dismissal of the state government and the suspension or the dissolution of the state assembly. Yes, the governor may dissolve the state government, or the governor may suspend or dissolve the state assembly. Yes, the governor has got the power. Why? Because the problem is in relation to the state government, isn't it? So the state political functionary is the problem here. So there can be power, or there can be usage of power by the governor for the suspension or the dissolution of the state legislative assembly, as well as the governor can go for the dismissal of the state government. So two options are correct. Now the question here is, how many are correct? Only two options. 22 will have option B as the right answer. Next question. Question number 23. With reference to no confidence motion, consider the following statement. What do you mean by no confidence motion? No confidence motion is used predominantly, usually by the opposition. Okay, usually by the opposition to make the executive accountable. So legislature will use the tool of no confidence motion to make executive accountable, isn't it? So there will be, say, a kind of voting in the parliament regarding the no confidence motion, and if it is getting passed, it means that the executive, that is the ruling front, is not having the majority in the house, and that will lead to the dismissal of the Council of Ministers. Fine. So it enables the parliament ensure executive accountability. Correct statement. If it is passed in Lok Sabha, the Council of Ministers must resign. Yes, sir. If it is passed, means the Council of Ministers, you do not have the majority support in Lok Sabha. If you do not have majority support in Lok Sabha, as per the parliamentary form of government which we follow, you will have to resign from the office. It can be moved against the entire council of ministers as well as individual ministers. Wrong. There is a bedrock principle in parliamentary form of government which is known as collective responsibility. Sir, the council of ministers are collectively responsible. Okay, the council of ministers are collectively responsible to Lok Sabha. There is collective responsibility. Okay, there is collective responsibility. The principle of collective responsibility in the parliamentary form of government, which is bedrock principle. So the no confidence motion is a motion that is to check the principle of collective responsibility, isn't it? So no confidence motion can be applied to entire council of ministers, not to one particular individual ministers. It is applicable to entire council of ministers. So how many of the above statement given above is or are correct? In fact, the first statement is correct. The second statement is correct. The third statement is wrong. So only two statements are correct. No, sir, you are supposed to choose incorrect statement, isn't it? So this is not the answer. Incorrect statement means, yeah, this is correct statement. This is correct statement. This is in fact wrong statement. Only one. So answer is 23. Answer for question number 23 is option A. Okay, option A. Yes. Question number 24 now. The Treaty of Chaguaramas, okay, the Treaty of Chaguaramas, just a second, one, yes. The Treaty of Chaguaramas led to the establishment of, this is totally a factual question, led to the establishment of Caribbean community. Yes, sir. Yes, in fact, Treaty of Chaguaramas actually was leading to the establishment of Caribbean community. At the Ibadan Constitutional Conference of 1950, Nigerian leaders decided to form a federal constitution. So until then, there was in fact two kind of communities, or there was the one particular Nigerian section, as well as there was one particular Nigerian section. They were separated. Now, at the Ibadan Constitutional Conference of 1950, they decided that we will come together and form a federal constitution for Nigeria. Okay, so this is totally factual one, based exclusively on NCERT. Read it. That's it. The only way by which you can solve this question. Which of the following statements given above is or are correct? Both 1 and 2 are correct statements. Okay, 1 and 2 are correct statement. The last one, question number 25. Which of the following are the functions of the parliament? Number 1, constituent function. Number 2, legislative function. Number 3, electoral function. Number 4, ensuring accountability of the executive. Sir, does the parliament has the constituent function? Yes, sir, the parliament has the constituent function for the amendment of the constitution, isn't it? Constitutional amendment is function or constituent function of the Parliament of India. Does the parliament have the legislative function? Yes, sir, the predominant function of the parliament is legislative function. Does the parliament has the electoral function? Yes, sir, the parliament takes part in the process of the election of the president of India, the vice president of India. So the parliament has the electoral function. Ensuring accountability of the executive, yes, sir, according to article number 75 of the Indian Constitution, 164 of the Indian Constitution. So this is at the union level, this is at the state level. According to 75, the Council of Ministers are collectively responsible to Lok Sabha. So Lok Sabha keeps a check on the Council of Ministers. So there is a part of the legislature keeping accountability on the executive. So 4 is also correct. So what is the answer? All 4. You are supposed to choose the correct answer. So all 4 are in relation to the functions of the parliament. Okay, this will end the discussion about or discussion on test 3 on Indian polity for NCERT. So I hope you would have enjoyed this particular session. We will see with next coming test discussion in the coming episodes. Until then, it's goodbye.